If you've ever felt like your comping over those bossa standards doesn't groove, or you're bored of always playing the same rhythmic pattern for the entire piece, then stick with me, because in this lesson I am going to teach you a variety of genuine bossa nova patterns I originally learned in Rio de Janeiro. And we begin now. Recently, I was watching a Brazilian documentary on this music, and there was a segment where one of the musicians was talking about how during the 50s, different guitarists helped shape the comping patterns for what came to be known as bossa nova. This was very interesting, as I was able to put a name and a date of origin to several comping patterns that I learned and have been playing since I was a kid. And that is what I am going to share with you next. The first two patterns I want to show you are vintage bossa nova from the 50s. And this first one was introduced by Castro Neves, a guitarist that many of you probably have heard of. And this early pattern mainly mimics the side stick pattern played on the snare drum by the early bossa drummers. By the way, I am going to play all these examples over a D6-9 chord for easy comparison. So here goes. Example 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's a more staccato version of the same pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. A quick side note on Castro Neves. Sometime during the 60s, he moved to Los Angeles and has recorded as a producer and sideman on many albums. Especially noteworthy is an album of Brazilian music where he comps for none other than Joe Pass. And it's on the Pablo label, and it's called Tudo Bem. And I believe it belongs on every jazz guitarist's collection. And the drummer on this session is Claudio Zellon, who also played on some of Jobim's albums. Anyhow, back in the late 90s, I was fortunate to have Claudio playing on my third CD along with pianist Manfredo Fest, who was another bossa pioneer. And they are on the background track that you sometimes hear throughout this video. Okay, this second pattern is by guitarist and composer Carlos Lyra. And this pattern is somewhat reminiscent of the cavaquinho strum in an earlier style of Brazilian music known as choro or chorinho that dates back to the 19th century. It is a precursor of the samba. And the cavaquinho, in turn, is a small string instrument that kind of resembles a ukulele. Let me play it for you. Example number 2A. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here's a more staccato version where it clearly captures the accents of the cavaquinho when playing chorinho. 1, 2, 3, 4. The third pattern is what has become established as the classic bossa nova pattern, and it was originated by Joao Gilberto. This is the pattern that was heard internationally when Joao Gilberto recorded Garota de Ipanema, the girl from Ipanema, with Stan Getz, and it obviously became a hit, as we all know. And here we have a very nice blend of many samba percussion patterns. And most notable is the bass pattern played on the 5th and 6th strings, which mimics the surdo, or big bass drum in the Scuola de Samba, which are the big percussion ensembles that parade during the carnival. So listen to variation 3A, classic bossa nova. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here's a more staccato version. 1, 2, 3, 4. The final two variations, I really don't have a specific name or date of origin for, but they are derived primarily from the classic Joao Gilberto patterns that you just heard. And here's the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the final one goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you use them with electric guitar in an ensemble, you might have to adapt the chord voicings to other inversions, especially on the higher strings, to get rid of the bass patterns. And if you want some handy resources to study and practice these patterns, please visit my website. And for a nominal contribution, you can download a PDF with both regular notation and tablature, a band-in-a-box file and MIDI file so you can loop and slow down these patterns, and an MP3 of all these examples. I'm also including a very informative 3-page bossa nova article I wrote for the now defunct Jazz Improv magazine. And you will find a link in the info section down below, as well as an index of links to each pattern in this video for easy reference when studying. Well, I hope these patterns will come in handy the next time someone requests the girl with emphysema. I mean, from Ipanema. Yeah. I'd love to hear your comments and any questions you may have. Also, be on the lookout for my next video, because in it I am going to show you how the great bossa by Antonio Carlos Jobim, entitled Wave, was harmonically conceived. And believe me, many of you will be in for some surprises on this one. In that video, after fully analyzing the harmony, I will show you how to best memorize the changes if you don't already know them. Well, hope you've enjoyed this lesson, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, and be sure to click on the bell icon so you won't miss anything. Have fun, and see you in the next video.